Our next presenter is Logan Young. Logan is the co-founder of BlitzMetrics, where he runs the company's training programs while implementing ad campaigns and optimizing marketing funnels for key accounts. He is an internationally recognized keynote speaker, having lectured in 45 cities and 15 countries across 5 continents. He's also written a book, The Standards of Excellence on Facebook Benchmarks. His talk today is on what marketers need to know about the Facebook algorithm changes. So I will turn it over to Logan.
Awesome, thanks Anel. So instead of doing PowerPoint, I'm gonna actually run from the browser. So I'm gonna go and share my screen and let me know, Anel, if you guys are able to see it, and then we'll be good to go. All right, are you guys able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the problem with Facebook is that increasingly so, as 2018 now, me and my business partner Dennis, we do a lot of speaking, and every conference we go to, we ask who's doing Facebook ads. More and more hands are going up. People are on this platform, so there's a lot more competition. So we've heard a lot of complaining of people saying, well, I'm not getting any reach anymore. I used to get a lot of organic reach and paid reach, but now my CPMs have gone up. It costs more to get the traffic. So we know that the point of advertising is reach, right? You have to get the message out there in front of the masses, and then whether or not it converts is up to the content, right? Content is king. Hopefully your content's good. It gets them to click to the website. But before we even get there, it comes to reach. So rather than, getting angry at Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg or the platform or the algorithm, we believe in understanding how the algorithm works and working with it. And Facebook recently made a change to the algorithm. It's changing all the time. But the big thing you need to be aware of is that what they're looking for is they want to give the users a good user experience, because Facebook has 2 balls they're trying to balance or juggle, right? On one hand, they have advertisers. On the other hand, they have users, and they have to keep both happy. Because if they drive the cost of traffic up too much, the advertisers will leave. But if they put too many spammy content out there, the users will leave, right? So they're looking for that perfect balance where they want to give the users a good experience. And it comes down to engagement. So most posts on an average page will get 2 to 3% organic reach from their following. Meaning if my page has a following of 100,000 people, I expect my organic reach on average is only going to be 2 to 3,000. But if you can get something higher than that, if you can get 10 to 30% organic reach from your following, that post is doing pretty well. Is Facebook giving you a signal that something about it is working? So I have 4,000 followers on my page. Here's a post I put out a while ago in January. You can see it got almost 12,000 organic reach. So almost 300 times my page. And the reason is because of this engagement, right? So people engage in 3 primary ways. They can like, comment, or share. And then they can also click on it, so if they click see more, or if they're clicking around these different photos, that all adds up. And these are weighed differently to the algorithm. So they're not equal. So if a like is worth 1 point, we know that a comment is worth 6 and a share is worth 13. And think about why that might be the case, right? Let's say someone likes something. So let's say I publish something, and let's say me and Anel are really good friends. So she sees that I published something, or rather, let's even say Anel published it, and I click like, but not really because I like the content. Anel's just my friend, so anytime she puts something out there, I click like on it. Well, if I comment on it, it's a little bit stronger indication that I probably read whatever she put out there, and that I have something to contribute to it. And then if I share it, that's even like the strongest. That's basically me endorsing it, saying, you know what, Anel, I couldn't have said it any better myself, so rather than trying to, I'm just going to share it directly, right? So Facebook recognizes that a lot of people like things just because they like the person, not necessarily the content. But if you comment on something or you share something, it's a lot stronger signal to Facebook that that's probably good content. So again, that's why there's different signals here. So like is worth 1, a comment is worth 6, and a share is worth 13. So what does this mean for you as a publisher, whether you're a brand or a freelancer, a solopreneur, entrepreneur, whatever it is, you're putting content out there, you want to try and focus on content that encourages people to engage with it. And avoid what we all know what clickbait is. Now people are talking about engagement bait, where they'll say share now or comment below. Like that's one way to do it, but that's a really lame way. The content should be engaging just in and of itself being good. So it might be asking a question or not provoking controversy, but something that kind of gets people's attention a little bit, not just something really bland. So you want to do a lot of tests. And when you find something that gets good engagement, it's probably going to get good reach. So I'm working from my page right now. I'm on Insights, and I can sort by engagement rate. And I can see that these different posts have got different amounts of engagement. So I can see that this one that got this great reach, it got an 18% engagement rate. So that's why I got so much reach, right? Engagement isn't always tied to it, but more often than not, the more engagement, and especially the rate of the engagement, if I can get an engagement rate of 10 plus, the more likely I am to get more reach, because Facebook recognizes that people are engaging with this, therefore it must be good. So those are the things you should be paying attention to. There's one thing that you absolutely need to avoid to work with the algorithm. Facebook, again, they want to give the user base a good experience, and their platform is very much self-regulating, meaning that it's not as if every time someone publishes something, someone at Facebook's reviewing it. They're letting the reach be determined based off how the users interact. So if the users engage, if they like the content, Facebook shows it more. If they don't, they show it less. And people can put negative feedback on a content. So negative feedback is not when someone puts the angry face. It's not if someone comments and says, oh, this is so stupid, why do you post it? That's not negative feedback. There are 4 types of negative feedback. People can hide the posts. They can hide all posts. They can report it as spam, or they can unlike the page. And Facebook's engineers told us in June, we were in Menlo Park at Facebook's headquarters. They said that 1 piece of negative feedback counts against you from a scale of 100 to 1. So if I just get 1 piece of negative feedback, in order to outweigh that and still get more reach, I need 100 positive pieces. So in this particular example, I can see I have 2 pieces of negative feedback. So in order to counterbalance that, so that the weighting works in my favor and I'm working with the algorithm and it'll show my post to more people, I need 200 pieces of positive. So of course, when I add up my reactions, comments, and shares, I have 400 here, plus all these post clicks, I'm well north of that, right? But negative feedback is the #1 killer of people's reach. So if you feel like your content's not getting a lot of reach, it's 1 of 2 reasons. 1, it's not encouraging any engagement, or 2, it's getting negative feedback. And those are the 2 things you need to diagnose first. And then you can start getting reach more, both organically and paid, so you're working with the algorithm instead of against it. And there's one other thing I wanted to talk about. This is a little bit more sophisticated, but really it's not too much. So Facebook's most recent change, they said, they're gonna remove posts from page in the newsfeed. Basically, when someone logs on, Facebook wants a user to see content from their inner circle, their family and friends, but their inner circle could also be a brand. So how is an inner circle determined? How does Facebook know who to show the content to? When I log on to my Facebook, if I come over here and go fb.com, it goes to Facebook. How do they know which content to put first on my feed? So it comes from something called EdgeRank, right? And it's actually pretty simple, so I'm going to use some shapes. So let's say this first shape is you as the publisher, and then you publish a piece of content. And when you publish it, people can interact with it. So maybe it's a video that I published. And again, let's say Net's publisher. So this is Annette. She publishes a video. There's a connection between her and the content because she's the publisher. But then I come in as a user and I comment on her video. Well, now there's a connection between me and that piece of content as well as me as Annette. So there's connections that have been made because I connected with their content. So there's a bridge there, a gap that's been bridged. And the more this happens, let's say Annette posts a lot. And let me see if I can get some letters here to make it a little easier for you guys. So this is Annette. I'll just put ANN so you guys can see it. Oh, that's content. Oh, well, it's not working like I want, but you guys get the point. So Annette's publishing content, and let's say she puts all these different pieces of content out there. So maybe Annette, you have now 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces of content, and every one of them is just killer. So every one of them I either like, comment, or share on. Well, that's all coming back to me and strengthening our connection together for each of these pieces of content. So it's creating what we call EdgeRank between us as 2 users. So when I log onto my Facebook, they're going to show me the content from the users I have the most EdgeRank with. So here's Michael Stelzner. I like a lot of his posts. So anytime he posts something, it shows up early and often on my Facebook feed. So by producing content that gets engagement, you're encouraging people to produce this rapport with you, or this edge rank, so that in the future, when you publish more content, Facebook's going to say, you know what, these certain people liked it in the past, I'm going to show it to them first. So you're building yourself a foundation of a user base that likes your content, and that's how over time you can increase your organic reach by developing this rapport or these edges with people. I know that might be hopefully I didn't lose anyone there, but that's a fancy way of saying, you know, bottom line takeaway is make content that encourages people to engage with it, and then Facebook will continue to show your content in the future to those people, and you'll get more organic reach, you'll get more visibility, and especially when you do paid, it'll be the same. You'll get cheaper CPMs, and that's how you can start to work with the algorithm instead of working against it. Instead of complaining about how your reach is dead, you know, just recognize if something's low engagement, high negative feedback, then of course it's bad reach. And we need to see what content's working, what content's not working, so we can, as marketers, be smarter, or as publishers, about producing stuff that we know is going to be successful. And I'll flip it back over to you now.